This screen recording was generated 100% by AI. I gave it a single prompt, it went out, recorded the video, clipped things together, and made it look like Screen Studio. You could send these to your coworkers, post them for social media content, or even have your Claude code show you exactly what it's doing. Plus, I built this as an installable Claude code skill. So you can watch the whole video. I'm going to show you every step of the process and how exactly I built this, or you can head to my community, AI Innovators, and you can grab the link to install it here. I want to walk you guys through an actual example of me using this thing, but first let me run through a quick diagram that breaks down how the whole system works. So the first thing that's going to happen when we want to use this skill is we need to tell Claude Code what we want a screen recording of, what do we want to demo, and we can either just tell it that with plain English, or we can give it a slash command, so slash screen demo, and then we can explain what we want it to demo. Claude Code is going to take that information and use it in a tool called SteelDev. SteelDev is what gives our Claude Code browser access, allows us to see exactly what it's doing on the browser, as well as create the screen recording. So that's going to create a moments.json file, which is a timestamped list of exactly what the AI is doing, as well as the recording.mp4. It's going to take the recording, it's going to pass that into Remotion. Remotion is a code-based video editor, so we can actually have our AI edit this video for us and make it look super polished. And that's the final step, is outputting the final demo video in a polished format, 4x speed, 60 frames per second, and looking just like Screen Studio. So now that you guys have a general idea of the high-level architecture, let's go through an end-to-end example of what this system looks like. So we're going to start with a user request. Record a demo of Linear's homepage. Show the hero section, scroll to features, hover over a feature card, and then click on the Get Started button. Claude Code is going to take that information, it's going to go look at the pages it needs to visit, it's going to pull that information together into a browse plan. Now, this browse plan is basically a step-by-step list of everything it wants to accomplish throughout this browsing session. Once this browsing plan actually gets executed, it's going to create a moments.json. This is a timestamped list of exactly what the AI did on the browser. So we can see it navigated to Linear, it scrolled to features, it hovered over the first feature card, and then it clicked on Get Started. Finally, once we have a moments.json and a recorded MP4, Claude can build different segments and it can edit it just like an actual video editor would. That is a fairly simplified version of things. We'll take a look at the 11-step process and we can walk through everything step by step. First thing that happens is Claude is going to gather a browsing plan. It might ask us which specific URLs we want to visit, which interactions do we want, which key moments, what's going to be the most important, what do we want to zoom in on, etc. It's going to build that browse plan. Then it's going to actually run the recording, which is going to create a moments.json and a recording.mp4, and then it will present the recording to the users. So it's going to continue working regardless, but it's going to give us an update and it's going to let us know that the recording has been completed, and then it's moving on to the editing steps. Next, it's going to read the moments.json and trim the dead time between videos. One of the big problems with these AI models is when they're browsing, there's a lot of dead time as the model makes decisions between different actions. So you might get a screen recording and it clicks on a button, and then 3 seconds later, the mouse starts to move. This part of the skill removes that entirely by starting each segment about 500 milliseconds before each action. We also end these clips about 1 second after the action completes. We will merge clips if they're less than 2 seconds apart, and we will split them if there's more than a 3-second gap. So this section here is super important to getting polished videos and making it look like it was actually a human who did the clicking. Then Claude does some crazy stuff. It builds the camera keyframes. So this is how we actually get those smooth motion zooms. It decides where it should focus, what it should zoom in on, and how long it should be zoomed in for. It's going to send us a quick message. It's going to let us know what its plan for editing is. Lastly, we're going to set up the gradient. So we have 2 different gradient options that can be used as the background canvas for these videos. So one of those is going to get chosen, and then we're going to build the camera config JSON. Camera config JSON is essentially a file that acts like a virtual camera. Claude just creates this to decide what files go where, when the keyframe should be, what the zooms look like, etc. But once it has the camera config JSON, it can actually render the final video. Finally, it's going to save the video. It's going to give us the path for the video output, and then it's going to offer any adjustments that we could make. If we wanted to make adjustments, if there was a zoom that was out of place or something got clipped out that we actually wanted in the video, we could easily just tell Claude Code to go back and fix that, and it does a great job of doing so. But that's pretty much how this entire system works. So the last thing I want to do is show you guys some examples of this system actually working in practice. And in order to do so, I'm going to head back to AI Innovators so I can show you exactly how to copy this and install it directly into your Claude Code. The first thing you need to do is head over to this form here, fill out your information. That's going to give you access to this GitHub repository and allow you to copy all of this files and everything you need directly onto your computer. Then you're just going to copy the command for whatever operating system you're on and open up a new folder in VS Code. I've just created a new folder here called Screen Demo within my Claude Code workspace. So I'm going to select this one and then open up a terminal and run the command. So you can see it installs with a nice little text that says Screen Demo, and it'll show us exactly what's happening. Went through, it made sure it had all of the prerequisites. It copied over all of the skill files. It created the environment. It's reminding us that we need to add our Steel API key. And then it finished installing all of the packages. There's a little checklist at the bottom here. All we need to do is add our Steel API key to our .env file, open up Claude Code in this directory, and then we can run Screen Demo. So I'm going to get that API key added, and then we'll get started. My API keys are updated. Now I'm just going to close out of Microsoft Copilot, open up Claude Code. This should be a new window, so it should have the Screen Demo skill. And we'll just start with something simple. Head to fridaylabs.com and navigate through the pages. And I'll be right back when this is finished up. All right, so we can see that the recording has been completed successfully. It's going to read the moments and it's going to start to build out that edit plan that we talked about. It's going to render out this video in 1 second, and then we can take a look at it. All right, looks like it's wrapped up here. Everything's been generated, so we can head over to the workspace here, head over into the Screen Demos folder, the Friday Labs folder, and then we can check out demo.mp4. So we're going on the home page, scrolling through things, checking out the different pages. Looks like Claude Code was able to clip things up properly, create a nice little demo video. If I wanted Claude to improve things, show a different page, maybe smooth out the clips or the zooms a little bit, I could absolutely ask it to do so. But when it gets really crazy is when you combine this with other skills. If you take the thread to carousel skill that I also have available inside of AI Innovators, you can get carousels and threads that look like this. Embedded videos directly showing what's happening in the thread, and all of this was generated 100% by AI. I prompted it once and it generated this thread. As a reminder, all of these skills are available inside of the AI Innovators community. You just go in here, go to Claude Skills, you can copy these commands and install them in your Claude Code in 1 click. If you got any value out of this video at all, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep making these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.